Have you ever wondered why, even when everything seems to be in crisis, the entire world still turns its eyes toward the United States? Have you ever stopped to think why today's most powerful rivals should carve their own path, but instead copy what was done here? On this soil, in this culture, in this mindset that shapes winners? The average American may not see it, may not even realize it, but carries within something that sets him apart from the rest of the world. Something deeper than the flag, stronger than any weapon, more enduring than any empire ever known. It has a name, the American spirit, and it is not dead. It is not asleep. It's just waiting to be reclaimed. We live in strange times, an era where doubting oneself is sold as a virtue, where lowering your head is disguised as wisdom, where questioning the value of your own nation is treated as a sign of maturity. And while many surrender to self-blame, rivals arm themselves with resolve. They have no doubts. They know exactly what they want, and what they want, make no mistake, is to take the place that has always been yours. China, viewed as the great strategic adversary of this century, is a prime example. A country with a millennia-old history and rapidly accelerating technological growth, yet still dependent on American originality to advance. They copy our business models, mirror our social networks, replicate our propaganda, adapt our language, imitate our war strategies, and reproduce our entertainment. The Chinese Communist Party itself watches, studies, and deciphers American propaganda manuals to control its population. This is no coincidence. It's dependence. Here, the brutal truth. The entire world still follows America as lead, even when pretending not to. Our startups become global standards. Our universities are still the benchmark for innovation and technology. Our films and series shape the collective imagination of global youth. Our social media platforms capture hearts and minds across all 5 continents. Even our internal conflicts, our political dramas, our crises, they become subjects of analysis, commentary, and imitation in other nations. Why? Because the planet still revolves around American culture. But there's a problem. While the world watches, many Americans have forgotten their own worth. They've been infected by pessimism, by shame disguised as awareness, by the apathy of those taught to doubt everything, except their enemies. And that is where the danger lies, because there is no force more destructive than a giant who has forgotten that he is a giant. That's why this call is not for the government. It's not for Congress. It's not for the millionaires or the generals. This is a call to the common citizen, to the man and woman who rise early, work hard, pay taxes, and believe they're merely surviving, when in truth they carry within themselves the genetic code of a dominant civilization. You, American, were born ahead. You don't need to reinvent yourself. You just need to remember. Remember that you live in the country that won 2 world wars. Remember that your flag has been to the moon. Remember that your people created the internet, led the space race, built the greatest companies in history, and planted the most exported culture in the world. Remember that you are not a product of chance. You are the direct heir of a lineage that always faced the impossible. You don't need to fear competition. You don't need to envy anyone's discipline. You don't need to bow before China, Europe, or any emerging bloc. You only need to claim what's already yours. Because here's what no one dares say out loud. Every American is, by definition, already a winner. The difference between a winner and a loser is not talent, not luck, not origin. It is the awareness of one's own worth. And if there's one thing your adversaries are hoping you never realize, it is that you already won the race before it even started. When the world copies you, it's because you are the reference. When your adversary tries to take down your system, it's because his survival depends on your failure. When your enemies imitate your culture, it's because they failed to create one as powerful. So, why are so many Americans losing? Why are so many stuck, depressed, insecure? Simple. They lost their sense of mission. They let fear replace vision. They traded conviction for doubt. And they forgot that on this soil, challenges have never been a reason to retreat, but a call to rise. This nation was built on struggle. It was raised not by those who had everything, but by those who had an idea, courage, and a commitment to liberty. That is the true American spirit. It's not comfort, it's combat. It's not guaranteed, it's earned. It's not inherited, it's claimed. And if you're waiting for someone to hand you your victory on a silver platter, don't hold your breath. Because here, those who win are those who rise, who act, who confront, who take ownership. You don't have to be rich, influential, or privileged to be part of this. You just have to embrace the identity that runs in your veins. You only need to remember that you are the direct descendant of men and women who faced open seas, who challenged kings, who toppled tyrannies, who created a model of freedom the entire world tries to replicate. Even if it won, T admitted. You don't need approval. You already carry a historical mandate. You don't need recognition. Your name is already in the books. You don't need to copy anyone. They're the ones copying you. The world imitates the United States because it knows this is where ideas become reality. China imitates us because, even with billions of people, censorship, and state force, it still depends on the creativity born from the American free spirit. And if you believe you've lost control, that everything is going wrong, that your country is in decline, think again, because decline only happens when the spirit gives up. And that spirit, the true American spirit, never surrenders. It may sleep, it may stumble, but it always wakes up. And when it wakes up, the entire world changes. So now is the time, not to start something new, but to reclaim what has always been yours. Reclaim the vision, the pride, the initiative. Reclaim the sense of mission. Reclaim leadership, not as a privilege, but as a responsibility. Whether you're a student, a worker, an entrepreneur, a parent, a veteran, or a naturalized immigrant, the blood of liberty runs through your veins. You are not behind anyone. You don't have to apologize for winning. You should never bow your head to those who want to see you small. You are American, and that still means something. You are made of resilience, of innovation, of leadership. You are the living embodiment of an idea that changed the world and will change it again. Rise, reclaim, proclaim, confront. Because when you stop running from who you are, the whole world remembers why it was always chasing after you.